Okay, incoming. New zombie apocalypse escape video. This one's for Niner Zulu. It's a warning order for what's coming this summer. Enjoy. It's not fancy edited. It's no fancy lighting. It's all cold, hard, straight up, short video clips together. Some important information though. Well, it's still April. It's 0 degrees this morning as I've come out to feed my horses, water them. Yeah, the outside tap is still froze. It's that cold last night. But sun just cresting on the horizon. What if today was the day? What if today was day X, as some people call it, where things aren't going to be the same anymore? What if there was a major catastrophe? What if there was something that caused the whole system to fail as the day progresses on? Can you get through with just where you are in that moment in time? Wherever you are during the day, something suddenly goes south, and there you are. Are you ready for what you have to do from that point forward? It's easy when you're at home or in a place that you know things are secure. But what if it's in the middle of the day? We'll see. There it is. Sun's up over the horizon. Just out getting my dogs a little bit of exercise before we begin our day, right? Because they need their time out too. Yeah, so here's the first lesson of the day. As I went out the door, knowing that I'm on a timeline, I have things to do today, I just threw on a quick pair of old, junky, wore-out boots. Okay, there's not much left of them. The message in this is, okay, if you went out for the day, what do you got on your feet? In times when people are trapped in unsafe areas or catastrophes or danger zones, one of the biggest injuries that occur is because of their inability to wear footwear and get out of the danger zones. You don't walk away from the World Trade Center collapsing in a pair of Crocs. Okay? You just don't. And if you're going to go out and wear your Crocs, your flip-flops, your penny loafers, or your Oxfords, do you have a pair of shoes with you that you could easily access and get to so that you could slip them on your feet, tie them up, and get away from the danger zone? Think about that. Okay? The reality is you don't have to wear the hiking boots or the military boots or whatever safety boots, but have a pair with you in your vehicle so that if you needed to, something strange happened and you needed to get away somewhere and you couldn't go in your vehicle, something you can put on your feet that's going to survive that. There we go. Now we'll get on with the rest of the day. Okay, so I was out and fed the horses at 6 this morning, and it was freezing, and it's still, the end of April, but I was on with my day. I went out and went to a public event, and this is the rest of the zombie apocalypse catastrophe unexpected impact video for Niner Zulu. This is why everywhere I go prepared to deal with anything that comes by, including wearing a decent pair of boots. So there it is. Just got a cheap pair of hiking boots on that I was wearing at the public event today, and I got my hiking pole with me because I knew I was going to do this. But everything I had with me is now in the backpack that's on my back, as you can see in the shadow there. And we're going to carry on and leave here as if I went somewhere and something crazy happened, and now I got to get from where I am to where I need to be, the safe zone, with what I got. And this is how it goes from here on in. It should be a beautiful afternoon for a walk. Okay, so I still remember as a kid when the government started pushing out the anti-littering campaign, trying to beautify Ontario. Just so you know, you get out on these walks, even in the not so remote places, things really haven't changed in our society. As much as we like to think that all that money spent advertising and all of that to try and stop people from littering, society has not changed that much yet. There really is no limit to what human beings will throw away on the side of the road. You know what? As much as we kind of tout ourselves as this great nation of world saving, climate warming prevent, there really is no limit at the base level. In just less than 2 kilometers of walking along this portion of the road, I could have probably filled 3 garbage bags, a couple of recycle bins, and made $5 on the recycled alcohol containers in less than a kilometer. Yeah. And this is just on the edge of a city. You have to question what it's like, elsewhere, and start thinking about what it is that really is going to make a difference in the concept of conservation and saving the planet. I don't know. You got to change a culture. You got to change it at the lowest level. Well, if Niner Zulu was here, he'd probably pick up that wheel cover and carry it with him, but not for me. You never know what you're going to find out on these adventure hikes, I call them, but the reality is there's a lot of traffic. And if it was an emergency, if it was day X, as it's known, there might be limited or no traffic at all. You might encounter other people trying to walk. The question is do you have with you what you need to get to safety or where you need to go? And do you have, I'm going to call it the intestinal fortitude, okay, the fitness level, the strength, the ability, to get there in a timely fashion. It's not too bad today. It's a little breezy, but it's a nice warm day. These are ideal conditions. What if it was pouring rain? What if it was the middle of the night? Okay? Or getting on to darkness? It's not going to take much to have on your person to get to where you want to go and survive, but it requires knowledge and preparation. Well, there's the second one, and probably less than a kilometer. I could say this: if Niner Zulu was with me today, this pack would be getting pretty heavy with these vehicle parts, which he likes to collect. Yeah, I'll be there. There'll be more. Have you ever played kick the can? It's easy to do in this day and age. There's no shortage of cans along these roads. More day X thoughts. Look at there. You know what? That seems to be like it's maybe open, maybe not, but it's still intact and it has water in it. So if it was the zombie apocalypse, I might consider picking it up, checking it out, seeing if it's water. If not, I might actually save it as a reservoir to carry water in if I had to go a long, long ways. Thing is you're going to have to filter your water to make it safe to drink no matter what. And later, I will show you a life straw attachment that allows you to fit on a standard bottle top like that and filter water as it comes out of the bottle, which I think is a pretty useful tool. I'll add it at the very end of this video. There we go. Less than 100 meters away, there's a water bottle that the life straw filter will fit onto, and you can get water, collect water with this, and then filter it as it comes out to have safe drinking water with the life straw attachment. So if this was day X and I knew I was going a long, long ways before I could get water, I might actually save that bottle for the rest of my adventure, providing I had the life straw filter with me. Look at that, less than 50 meters up the road, there's another shining, pristine example of a water collection device that I could easily take with me and make use of in a survival situation in day X adventure. Things always look different when you're walking as opposed to driving by. In case you're wondering, those freshly graded road shoulders are like walking on beach sand. This isn't a Sunday afternoon walk in the park by any means. And the reality is, in day X, you're not going to have time to stop and smell the roses. But in my case, it's a beautiful day. The snow is pretty much all gone. And I do have the time to stop and enjoy some of the natural beauty that grows here. Look at that. All by itself. On the side of a road, surviving. Imagine walking past that just after dawn. And there's mist drifting across the field, and you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse movie. Niner Zulu would be like, "Can we go explore that?" We'll see what we can do. You know what? I've driven past this place thousands upon thousands of times in my lifetime. And one thing I can tell you is now that I'm walking by, I'm noticing features that I wouldn't normally have paid attention to. It's really kind of neat and maybe a little creepy. Okay, so on the concept of it's a day X adventure, there wouldn't be this much traffic coming down the road, you know, but the reality of personal security is still the same. You can't wander around with your head down, mind in neutral and body in drive. You have to maintain your situational awareness, okay? Don't be wandering around looking for all the quarters you think you lost in your lifetime, but search the ground around you, pay attention, look near, look medium, look far, cycle through that regularly. Avoid any threats before you discover them. That's part and parcel of the way we need to live every day, but we're in, as Pat Mack calls it, 45-degree syndrome. Put your head down, look at your phone. And there won't be a phone running. And you won't have trained the situational awareness. It takes time. This is the sin of my early days in the Army. They taught us mind in neutral, body in drive. Okay? And then when I retired from the Army, I realized that, you know, it's a very easy trap to fall into, that you continue to walk and operate that way. So keep that in mind. You know, the road is quieted down now. Notice the footprints in front of me from when it was wet. Looking at, oh, there's a bridge, there's a car, is there a threat? Can I get across here? Situational awareness is going to play a big deal. I know, Niner Zulu will be scanning the ditches looking for more car parts. That's okay. Some of that stuff will be useful. I think I'm going to stop and enjoy the sound of the running water. So this little epiphany is for Niner Zulu. Just a reminder of our adventures prior to this. As I'm going up, probably what amounts to the last hill. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. He'll remember it. Things I want him to remember. 3 things for quality of life. Sleep like a champion when you can. Eat like you care what it does to your body. Exercise like you mean it. And of course, the Pat Mack rules for life. Stronger, longer. Have a lifestyle that includes diet and exercise so you can have quality of life into your senior years. And we also want, be fit enough to save your own life in an emergency or a catastrophe. And rule number 3 is, be fit enough to save the life of another human being in the event of an emergency or catastrophe, especially if it's someone who is in your care circle, someone you're responsible for. And last but not least, be fit enough to kick someone's butt when it's absolutely necessary and it's a life-saving circumstance. Things that I want him to remember, things that I embrace. Okay, so I'm closing in on the tail end of this Day X training adventure. There's some things that you probably want to learn when you get this far along, and that is if you spent your entire winter wearing snow boots and parking your butt on the tractor moving snow every day or every other day, that if you haven't been out doing these kind of things, your feet will quickly turn into hamburger when you're trying to escape in your penny loafers. Something to think about. You need to toughen up your feet. Same with, whatever it is you're carrying. Everything you have with you goes in a shopping bag or in a briefcase or something like that. Understand that carrying that load is going to change how difficult the walk is. Truthfully, it will change everything about it. And it may seem like a simple 6-kilometer hike, but trust me, you're going to learn some things. Well, I've reached my destination. Just under 6 kilometers, just over an hour. You know what? There's lots you learn in these little adventures, but if you don't get out and do them, you're never going to know if you can do them when the time comes that you need to do them. Some things that you understand quickly is, okay, your feet need exercise. You're going to exercise muscles you haven't exercised in a long time, but there's no other way to do it. No other way to do it. Just so you know, I made it to my destination. It was about an hour and a half to do the 5.5 kilometers. Now I found someone who had a working vintage automobile, say prior 2005, and for some reason they were working, and I managed to scoop a ride back to my safe area. I'm enjoying a cup of dandelion coffee and resting for a moment. Just so you know, on that adventure today, this is the full meal deal. I treated it like a rucksack training day. And that is 22 pounds. Okay. Just about a full 10 kilos. Just about a full 10 kilos for the duration. Now, an hour and a half, roughly, walking time. I wasn't measuring time. And according to Google Maps, it should have taken about an hour and 11 minutes. I'm not sure what walking pace they used. But we did it. A few of the final words I have for Niner Zulu is, get your game on. We got some of these coming this summer. Remember last summer, we did 12 kilometers from Dornoch to Williamsford in one go. We did a 43-kilometer bike ride from Dornoch to Durham and back. And this year, we're going to up our game a little bit, and we'll throw some more things in there. We're guaranteed some overnight motorcycle rides as well on top of that. Things I want you to know is for the average person, to take what you have on your person at that moment in an emergency and travel 6 kilometers by foot requires that you have something more than a pair of Crocs, a pair of flip-flops, okay? That's why I tell everybody in major emergencies, in disaster zones, and especially the World Trade Center, one of the biggest problems people had is when they were trying to get away from those zones, they were severely injured because they didn't have proper footwear to get out of those danger zones. The other thing is and even I will admit, after a winter of, not a lot of walking, it was a busy winter moving snow, you're going to find you're working muscles that you haven't worked in a while. And it's the same. In the Army world, we hiked with the rucksack on, or we rucked all the time. Our feet became calloused and toughened to that adventure. And you're going to exercise even the muscles in your feet. Even me today in this new cheap pair of hiking boots that I had on my feet, I can tell you right now the muscles in my feet are sore. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But if you don't practice this, you're not going to be able to do it when the time comes that you need to do it. And I'm not talking about the 30-minute walk with your dog after dinner either. I mean, you need to put some weight on your back and some miles under your feet. Okay? And if the walking is an issue for you, bicycle. Right? That's the next mode of transportation that you can use if there is no power, if your vehicle won't run. Okay? And they claim it's a little easier on the joints too. In any case, I had a really good walk in a warm spring day, and I look forward to challenging Niner Zulu again this year to even bigger and better adventures.